how are you? It is so nice to see you here and welcome to another episode of Dawn and Julia Create. So this evening I have set the challenge and we are going to be doing a how many cards challenge. Now in all honesty, it was Dawn that started these challenges. What she tends to do is take a kit and see how many cards she can make from it. When you do that, you can see just how much value is in these kits, because quite often we are making cards for pennies. And having that breakdown really helps with our budget, especially at the times that we're living in just now. So the kit we're going to be using tonight is my brand new Monster Mania collection. I will give you a closer look at that when we flip the cameras round. But the advantage of this kit is it's a digital kit. So whatever Dawn and I do tonight, whatever inspiration we give you, however cheap we manage to get the cards down to per card, that can be 100-fold, 1,000-fold, million-fold, because once that you have the digital kit, you can print it off as many times as you like. So it's great for economical crafting, it's great for batch crafting. You never have to run out of supplies, you never have to worry about, oh, I don't want to use this one too much because I want to save it, because you can just print off another one. So what we are going to do is we have printed off one of each of the papers, two of each of the monsters, and two of each of the embellishments. And that's all we're going to be using, so we're both starting with the same amount. I think Dawn's going to beat me on this one, but we will see at the end of the video. But without further ado, should we get started? So I'm going to start off by giving you a closer look at the Monster Mania collection. So this is a digital collection, as I mentioned, and these are the pre-coloured elements. Everything that you're seeing also comes in black and white line art as well. But for today we're working with the pre-coloured elements. So we had the 5 monsters. That was the accessories kit, and now we've got the sentiments. I have printed out those twice just because I wanted smaller sentiments, but in this challenge we're only using one sheet, so I will be cutting that in half. And here are the papers. So we have 3 background papers, a spot, a stripe and a splat, and then we have these sort of scene building ones because I love to build scenes. So we have one in half size and then the full sizes. So the first thing I need to do is to fussy cut everything down, ready to use. And I'm going to start off easy and use these pre-backgrounds done. These are great for easy cards. You literally just stick the background on the card. It would be fine as it is, but I am going to go and put one character on it as well. I'm using my black pen to edge it. We are using minimal supplies today, so this is to sort of prove that you can craft on a budget. You don't need loads of supplies. So we've just got the blank cards, scissors, glue and a black pen, but my black pen is a lifesaver. Framing all the various elements like we've done with the main mat and with the sentiment there just helps to lift it a little bit and helps to draw the eye in. So it means that we can sort of add our own touch to these things, but also get really effective cards as well. This is little Grinny Glooper. She is one of my favourite monsters. I love her. So I've put her in this gorgeous space themed background. And because I love this little one so much, I had to use this sentiment here. You've abducted my heart. So I've been asked to create pre-coloured printables for I don't know how long, so I've been working really hard on my digital colouring to be able to provide these for you. So when we were doing the monsters, it was my daughter that was helping me name them. So this one is Flubsy Pickles. I was sort of faffing about with this one quite a bit because I wanted it to look like he was holding the flower, because I'm going to use the sentiment sorry I was a monster to create a sorry card, so I wanted it to look like he was coming with a flower to say sorry, but it did mean I sort of had to chop into his hand a little bit to get that to work. Again, you can see me adding doodly borders to make it, you know, finish and complete. So we're fair getting through these papers now, and this is what was left of that main A4 sheet. So I've already done 2 cards. Now I'm kind of cutting into the paper to pull some of the elements out. So by taking that mushroom out, it now suddenly looks really bright. It looks sort of dark in the with the space background, but now we could have like a nice bright summary card just by sort of taking that background away. So I've taken a few elements or a few stripes from the stripy paper just to add a little feature. Created a banner just by snipping into it a little bit, and then taken one of the mushrooms from the accessory sheet and a flower as well, and that'll just be finishing this card off. So as I say, it's going to be really interesting to see how Dawn approaches it. I already know because this is me doing the voiceover, so I know how many cards I made. I'll tell you near the end. But I do feel that Dawn is going to make more. So based on what I made, I reckon Dawn is going to make 25, 26 cards. I'm thinking there was at least 10 monsters to play with, so that's 10 cards. And she's very good at stretching everything out. So there's a lot of rinsing and repeating, as you can see here, because the backgrounds are done for you and the characters are done for you. This is absolutely brilliant for batch card making. You can literally just pop a bit of paper down and a character. And these ones here, this is an example of this. I've sort of fussy cut into the paper, taken elements out, moved it around, and this is really good for unlocking your creativity and making it yours. So don't feel you have to use the paper as is. You can chop into it, and as I said, if you don't like it, print off another sheet. It really is not the end of the world, and I do love digital papers and elements for that. I'm actually going to be working on a series of how to get the most out of your digital stamps. So if that's something that you would be interested in, please do consider subscribing to this channel, because there will be a lot more coming. And as I said, I do think they are a brilliant resource. There's so much you can do with them. They are really economical to use. There's just so much you can do, and I really sort of want to let people be very aware of all the things that you can do with a digital product, because I do think they are very underestimated. So now I'm moving on to this splat paper. I just sort of tore the corner edges out of that, and again you can see me just framing that with my black pen. And again, I could make that stripe paper go a lot further than I did, because if you just cut out all the little bits, you'd have loads. But and you can see that I made 2 cards exactly the same, because I like that. So that's what I said about being batch card making. Yeah, that stripe paper, if you'd gone for all the individual stripes, it would have lasted forever, but I did use it as a whole as well. So here I am making a feature of some of the accessories. We have these little planets in the accessories, and also these eyes. Now I'm going to say that I did borrow this idea from one of the girls on my design team. So I do have a Facebook group where there's daily inspiration goes up, and one of the girls on my design team stuck eyes on the planets, and I was like, I love that. I had to do it. Again, to sort of, because they were planets and to make it look a bit more like they were in space, I have just sort of doodled a few stars and a few dots to carry on that theme. When doing a challenge like this with minimum supplies, your black pen is your best friend, because you can sort of add these extra little elements with doodles. I reckon Dawn will do lots of doodling on hers. She likes her dots and dashes. I reckon there's going to be a few flowers and a few leaves in there as well. So it'll be interesting. I will be popping over straight away to go and see what she has done and how she has approached it. What I can guarantee is that Dawn and I will have come up with very different cards. So we're going to be able to really show you lots of inspiration with this kit, because we have got very similar tastes. We seem to buy the same products quite a lot, but we always do completely different things. And that's how this challenge actually started. We kind of realised that we were always buying the same things, and that's why we decided to do this challenge. But we've kind of moved a little bit away from having the exact same stash in every challenge, which is good, but that's kind of wanted to bring it back to that for this particular challenge, that we were both working with the same things and just seeing how we got on. This is Dizzy Dumpling. She's adorable. She seems to be a favourite. As I said, Grinny Glooper, the green one, is my favourite, but there's lots of people liking this one. There's quite a few of my design team that have chosen her as a favourite, and she came out on top when I did my Facebook Live launching this kit as well. So she is well loved. So now again I am building a scene, but this time instead of using a pre-made scene with the papers, I'm just using little scraps that I've got and some of the elements that came in the accessories kit, and really quickly putting this together. This is Tipsy Gulu. She's just a little sweetheart. So I love her big smile, and it looks like she's had a couple of cocktails. So this is what I've got left. I'm now sort of left with one monster, a few embellishments and mostly paper, so I'm having to get a little bit more creative because there's plenty more cards to be had in that, but the sort of quick bish bash bosh that I had with the advantages of the monsters and the accessories have kind of gone. But again, this is the advantage of a digit kit. If I wasn't restricted because of the fact that we've put restrictions on for the sake of this challenge, I would be printing off more. But it's fine, we can still manage, and I do think this is where I start to become more creative. So I'm doing my absolute favourite thing that I love to do with scraps of paper, and I'm going to build little house scenes. So I just like to cut things in random shapes. I think the quirkier and stranger the better. If you try and go for straight lines, it's going to look off. You want it to look wonky and whimsical, and so just, as I said, randomly cutting very strange squares and triangles and things and building up a little monster city-scape. Oh, and I even used the potion bottles as trees. I was quite impressed with myself for that. I felt it was quite genius. Now at this point I would normally add distress inks at this stage, but I had created a minimal list, so we're going to have to do all the work with a black pen. But it's fine even with just a black pen and without my beloved distress inks. Just by scribbling a few doodles, we've made that work. I'm going to do the exact same again now. I've got 2 tall cards, and I'm going to build a couple more scenes. These were the spotty papers, and I thought, oh, they look like trees and hedges. So I cut out what I had left of those for the greenery elements, and I'm just taking the scraps and again building a couple of little scenes. As I said, this is my favourite way of using up scraps. And there we go. That is all I have left of this kit. Those few scraps, so I think we've done quite well. And here is the pile of cards that I have created. Can you guess how many we did? So here they are in review. We have these 2 tall cards done with the scraps. This one, that's probably my least favourite one, to be honest. I quite like that one. As I said, please do pop over and see what Dawn has created. This is her in her comfort zone. It's in her zone of genius. It's where she produces the best work. She's an absolute star at this sort of challenge. So please do pop over and see what Dawn has created here. I managed to create 18 cards, which is why I think Dawn's going to hit the 23-25 mark. I can't remember whether I said that earlier or not. I'm actually just losing my marbles. If you have enjoyed this particular video, you may enjoy checking out this other one from the Dawn and Julia Create series. And yeah, thank you ever so much for your company.